Mrs. Adler, in your earlier testimony here today, you painted a pretty dim picture of your own son.
I'm under oath. I take no pleasure in it.
So your son's a failure in life? Your daughter took her own life? You're 0 for 2.
Objection.
Withdrawn.
If I go 1 for 3, I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Ah, you know baseball, huh? Fenway Park. You know, I'd like to go there sometime. How often a year did you take Diane to the baseball games?
Diane wasn't interested in sports.
She never wanted to go to a baseball game, ever.
I don't recall her ever asking.
Just out of curiosity, Fenway Park, that's a tough ticket. How did you get yours?
My husband has season tickets.
And how long has he had them?
30 years, but I've only been married to him for 20.
And Diane never wanted to go to one game? Wow. Tell me, what color was the dress she wore in her prom?
Diane didn't attend a prom because she didn't go to high school.
No prom? What sports did she play?
As I told you earlier, she wasn't interested in sports.
Did she attend any camps during the summer?
No.
Community swimming pool?
We had our own pool.
Girl Scouts?
No.
And what did she do with all of that time?
She loved mathematics. It was her passion. She preferred it to all other things.
Over all of the things, huh? Mrs. Adler, please tell the court who Paul Rivas is.
He was a boy from the neighborhood.
Oh, come on, Mrs. Adler. Just a boy from the neighborhood? Isn't it true that Paul Rivas was Diane's first love?
I wouldn't characterize it that way, no.
And how would Diane characterize it?
Diane was 17 years old at the time. She didn't know anything about love.
Mrs. Adler, is it not true that in January of 1998, Diane and young Paul Rivas ran away together?
He coerced her.
And where did they go?
Her mom.
And you called the police, didn't you?
Yes.
Because according to you, he kidnapped her, right?
Yes.
And where did the police find young Mr. Rivas and Diane?
I told you, Vermont.
Stowe, Vermont. A resort town. Stowe Mountain, to be exact. He took her skiing. You know, kidnappers don't usually take their victims skiing. Paul took Diane skiing because they were in love. And when they returned, you pressed kidnapping charges. You filed a lawsuit on that boy's parents until he stopped calling Diane, didn't you? Didn't you?
Yes.
And Diane never heard from or saw Paul Rivas ever again, did she?
Not to my knowledge.
And how did she take it?
She was upset for a while. She lost focus.
She lost focus, huh? Mrs. Adler, in March of 1998, didn't Diane Adler attempt to take her own life?
This episode was minor. It was nothing.
I have the hospital report in my hand.
It was nothing. Diane was not like regular people. She was extraordinary. And extraordinary people come with singular issues and needs. You have no idea the capabilities she possessed. 1 in a billion. And you would say, fine, let's throw that away so the boy who cuts our yard can make a sexual conquest. Well, maybe before you make that decision, you stand in my shoes. I had responsibilities which went beyond a mother-daughter relationship. The greatest discoveries which have improved life on this planet have come from mines rarer than radium. Without them, we'd still be crawling in mud. And for your information, Counselor, a year after this incident with this boy, Diane thanked me for my intervention. She realized she'd made a mistake and she thanked me. You see, Diane understood she was accountable for the gift she'd been given, and she didn't shy from it. And I think if she were here today, Mr. Attorney, she would refute your baseless insinuations that she would give up a brilliant future and take her own life just because Mommy didn't get her a little red wagon.
You know, it is a shame that she isn't here today. Because if she were here today, she would be able to better shine the light on why she is no longer with us today. And no, mommy not buying me a little red wagon is not something that would drive one to commit suicide. But matters of the heart is. And although as a man of God, I do not condone fornication, or whatever she had going on with her young love, I prefer it over suicide any and every day of the week. I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor.